I didn't expect dopamine fasting to change my life. Honestly, I just wanted to feel human again. My brain had turned into noise. Every spare second I was scrolling, checking, chasing little hits of stimulation. TikTok, food, music, YouTube, notifications, always something. But I wasn't living, I was reacting. My focus was gone, my motivation was fake, and worst of all, I couldn't sit in silence without feeling anxious. That's when I realized it wasn't that I lacked discipline. It was that my brain was addicted to comfort. So I tried something extreme. For 7 days, I cut it all. No social media, no junk food, no mindless noise. And I won't lie to you, the first 48 hours were brutal. My hands kept reaching for my phone like it was a limb. I felt bored, irritated, even depressed. But here's what no one tells you. That's not you being broken. That's your brain detoxing. You're not bored. You're unnumbed. You're not lost. You're finally alone with your real thoughts. And that's terrifying at first. But if you stay with it, if you just sit through the storm without running back to the fake hits, something wild happens. Your mind starts to clear. You start remembering who you were before the noise. I noticed it on day 3. I could sit with my thoughts without panicking. I wrote for an hour straight. I noticed sunlight coming through my window and actually felt it. I felt hungry. Real hunger, not craving. I felt emotions that had been buried under screens and snacks and noise. And suddenly, I didn't feel numb. I felt alive. But here's the part that hit me the hardest. The clarity didn't come as some big epiphany or magical motivation boost. It came in the quiet. In the spaces where I'd usually reach for distraction, I started hearing something else. My own voice again. Not the overthinking one, not the insecure one repeating old failures, but the one underneath. The voice that still had dreams. The one that remembered why I started. And it was faint at first, like a whisper in a storm, but it got louder the longer I stayed disconnected from the noise. I started realizing how many of my goals weren't even mine. They were borrowed from people I follow, trends I saw, validation I was chasing. Without those voices, I could finally ask myself, what do I want to build? Who do I want to become when no one's watching? That question shook me, because I didn't have a clean answer at first. But I finally had the space to look for one. I stopped checking the time every 5 minutes. I stopped craving sugar every time I felt tired. I stopped jumping from one thought to another like a broken algorithm. For the first time in months, I felt peace. Not the fake peace you get from binge watching something while ignoring your life, but real, earned peace. The kind that comes from silence, stillness, and facing yourself honestly. And when that clarity hit, I didn't feel weak anymore. I didn't feel lost. I felt like I'd come home to something I'd forgotten existed. And that's when I understood. Most of us aren't broken. We're just overstimulated. We don't need more apps, more hacks, more motivation. We need less noise, less escape, less pretending we're okay when deep down we feel like we're falling apart. You think you've lost your discipline, your focus, your drive, but that's not gone. It's buried under dopamine loops that were designed to keep you numb and distracted. But when you step back, even for a week, you start to remember you are not your habits. You are not your cravings. You are not a lazy person. You're just exhausted from constantly fighting a brain that's been hijacked by easy pleasures. But here's the truth no one ever told you. You can reset. Not overnight, not perfectly, but one small decision at a time. And once you prove to yourself that you don't need the constant stimulation to survive, you unlock a version of you that's been waiting quietly this whole time. The clear-headed you, the grounded you, the focused, steady, powerful version that doesn't chase highs, but builds something real. You don't need to move to the mountains or live in silence forever. Just pause, disconnect, listen. Let your mind breathe. And watch what happens. Clarity isn't found, it's uncovered. And the real you, he's still in there. He's just been drowning in noise. Pull him out.